It is a true rivalry, separated from just 35 miles.
Opening tap, and here we go. By the way, the officials today, Anthony Jordan, Alandis Poole, and Billy Dunlap, as Furman has the opening possession of the game. Red hot coming into the game, winning 7 of its last 9, and a whistle and traveling called on Furman to open up the game.
That was a set play right from the tip. They wanted Marcus Foster to go one-on-one. The double team never came, but he took an extra step.
The starting lineup for Wofford, going with Jackson Sibbles, Jackson Pavletsky, Corey Tripp, Messiah Jones, and B.J. Mack. This team is 11-9 on the year, 3-4 in the Southern Conference. B.J. Mack, leading scorer for the team, draws the double. Inside Jones, lays it in, and he scores the game's first 2.
A terrific pass by Mack. He's Wofford's leading scorer, but he also has great vision when he receives double teams in the post.
And the 5 for the Pelicans, Pegues, Bothwell, Foster, Heen, and Slauson. Out of bounds, and goes back over to Wofford again.
Watch B.J. Mack, a great pass. He sees a little bit of a double team come by Heen along the baseline, and it just opens it up for teammate Messiah Jones.
And this is a Wofford team, Dean. It is very young, 12 freshmen and sophomores, 10 newcomers on the team this year, only 3 veteran players from last year. Getting inside is Corey Tripp. He can't finish, and the rebound by Furman.
You make a great point. I mean, just 3 Terriers have been involved in this rivalry game.
Steal by Messiah Jones, another turnover on Furman as the Paladins continue to try and score for the first time in this game today. Outside is B.J. Mack. He has a good inside-outside game for this club. Pull-up jump shot, knocks it down, and B.J. Mack has all 4 Wofford points.
He is listed as their starting forward, center, big, however you want to call it, but he is multi-dimensional and can score at multiple levels.
And Furman, a veteran team, lots of players back from last year, including the dynamic duo of Mike Bothwell and Jalen Slauson. Foster, Slauson, outside Pegues, hits the back of the rim, offensive rebound Foster. Foster needs help and finds Bothwell way up front. Crowd getting into it early here at the Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. Bothwell trying to pass inside, another turnover out of bounds. It goes back over to Wofford.
This Terrier defense has been stout right from the start. I mean, they are focused. Credit to Jackson Sibbles in particular. He's been really good on Marcus Foster. We'll talk more about him as the broadcast goes on. He is the X factor for the Paladins.
Here's Pavletsky, freshman point guard for the team. Pull-up jump shot, it's good. And it's all Wofford here in the early going. 2 points for Pavletsky, 6-0 Terriers. And all of Wofford's points have come off turnovers here in the first 2.5 minutes of the game.
Just no rhythm right now for Furman.
Foster, that's off the mark. Rebound ripped away by Corey Tripp for the Terriers. Out to a good start here at home against the good Furman team. 6-0 Terriers here in the early going. Here's Messiah Jones working against Heen, draws the double. They're working around the perimeter into Tripp's hands. Shot clock at 8. Tripp all the way, lays it in. Corey Tripp with 2. 8-0 Terriers here in the early going.
Boy, a couple of extra passes right there by Wofford. Their go-to guy right now is the open man.
Here's Heen backing in on Tripp, and he lost it. Another turnover on Furman. Here come the Terriers, clad in white, and a whistle. Yeah, they have an offensive foul against Wofford away from the play. The interim head coach for Wofford is Dwight Perry. He took over for this team after former coach Jay McCauley took a leave of absence on December the 5th, resigned from Wofford on December 30th, and for now, this is Coach Dwight Perry's team. In fact, he was a former assistant coach at Furman, Dean, back in the day for 5 years and worked for 2 years under current Furman coach Bob Ritchie.
He's done a nice job here under some tough circumstances, really got this team kind of refocused and playing some pretty good basketball during conference play.
Furman is still looking for their first points of the game. That's off the mark. Rebound by Wofford, up 8 here with 4 minutes gone by in the first half.
Well, it's been a story of either turnovers or one and done for Furman. Again, just no flow inside.
Tyler Filowich inside off the bench, as well as Amari Tice as they swing it around from side to side. Here's Mack, having poked away out of bounds, and a stay with Wofford when we come back. 15:46 to go in the first half.
Well, it is all Wofford here early on. Corey Tripp right down Main Street. They lead the leading scoring team in the SoCon 8-0.
Back here in Spartanburg, South Carolina, a quick start for Wofford, up 8-0, 15:46 to go in the first half. Brock Bowling, Dean Keener with you. And Dean, what's impressed you most about the Wofford start here today?
Well, their defense. I mean, they have been focused. They have forced Furman into 4 turnovers here in just over 4 minutes. So same amount of turnovers as field goal attempts.
And there's a look at B.J. Mack, senior forward for Wofford. He has 4 of Wofford's 8 points so far, and on his last bucket that he made, that was his 1,000th point in his collegiate career. He spent 1 year at South Florida, and now the last 3 years with the Wofford Terriers.
And when B.J. Mack is dialed in, and he is a capable scorer at multiple levels in this conference, you see it right there. He can go over his shoulder, he can shoot threes. Talented offensive performer.
Here's Furman still looking for its first points of the game. 4 turnovers, no field goals made here in the first 4.5 minutes of the game. Mike Bothwell, that's off the mark. Put back is in by Alex Williams off the bench for Furman, and Furman is on the board for the first time tonight.
A couple guys off the bench for Bob Ritchie during that timeout to try to get the music started.
Here's Pavletsky in traffic. Ball knocked away into Filowich's hands. Filowich leans inside, goes up and scores!
Filowich leads the Southern Conference in field goal percentage at 65.5, and you see why. Everything in close.
Williams, too strong in the 3. Rebound by Wofford. Wofford has made 5 baskets in the game. 4 of the baskets have come in the paint. Mack. Charge called on B.J. Mack, and they go back the other way.
Crowd won't like that, but Mack lowered that shoulder. Slauson was in legal guarding position right on the baseline, moving his feet. Boy, he took a big hit right there. This last possession, Filowich, great job, great hands, great footwork, and then watch the little nifty little move. One way and then comes back up and under, uses his right hand. He doesn't do that enough. Generally comes back over that right shoulder with the left hand.
All right, so Dean, Furman struggling from the floor, 1 for 7 overall here in the first few minutes of the game. Where does Furman go to try and get some points?
Well, I think, certainly Bothwell and Slauson are as capable offensive players as anybody in the Southern Conference. But they can't just go create on their own. They've also got to have some help.
Mike Bothwell creating inside. He's fouled. And he'll head to the line and shoot 2. Fouls on Kyler Filowich of Wofford, and that's his first.
Filowich has been a nice addition to this Terrier program. Transfer from Southern Illinois. Provides a real inside presence for them. Not a guy, he understands his role and plays it very well.
So here's Mike Bothwell at the line, 84% free throw shooter, averaging 19 points a game. Makes the first one. Last year, Bothwell named the first team All-SoCon by the coaches, and Bob Ritchie said to us this week, Dean, as we were talking to him, Bothwell is not only scoring more than ever in his career, he's also creating more for his teammates more than ever as well.
Yeah, look, and you see a little pressure right here. Not something that Furman does an awful lot, but Bob Ritchie trying to get his guys going. Yeah, back to Bothwell. And it's a great lesson for his teammates and for young players. You think, man, if I give it up, am I going to score as much? Well, he's proven that you certainly can do that.
Fouls on Garrett Heen for Furman. And that's his first. And Some subs come into the game for Wofford. Right now it's Adam Silas, Jackson Civils, Messiah Jones, Carson McCorkle, a sharpshooter for this team, and Amari Tice. Wofford in front, 10-4. And a steal by Alex Williams, third turnover on Wofford. Williams got held from behind, and he's fouled on the floor.
Not a terrible foul by Messiah Jones right there.
Bob Ritchie is the head coach of Furman in his 6th season. You see the record, you see the 21 seasons. He's won 22 or more games in 4 of the last 5 years. Dean, that one year he did not win 20. It was the COVID year 2 seasons ago. His team went 16-9, and there were a lot of cancellations that year.
And a league full of really good coaches, and there have been a lot of good coaches over the years in this league. He's arguably as good as any.
Alex Williams from 3 as he dials it in from long distance, his second basket of the game. 5 points on the afternoon, and Furman is within 3.
The big fella, 70% of his shots are behind the arc.
Carson McCorkle off the mark on that shot from 3, and a player down. Looks like Garrett Heen is down on the other side of the floor. It's 5-on-4 in favor of Wofford, and Garrett Heen is shaken up.
Not sure I saw what happened right there. I was watching the flight of the ball by McCorkle with that 3 in front of the Furman bench, but certainly you hope it's nothing more than maybe the wind knocked out of him. But Garrett Heen is one tough hombre. For him to go down, certainly he got hit.
And the trainer Justin Games out there to try and take care of Garrett Heen. He's a junior, 6'9", from Concord, North Carolina, just north of Charlotte.
He's improved every year, both offensively and defensively. Watch it again.
Ooh, an elbow right to the face.
Well, you hate to see that. Great camera work, but you hope it's just nothing more than he can hop back up and get back in this game. It looked unintentional, but just a basketball play, but that was tough right there. And certainly Billy Dunlap and this officiating crew, they'll get it right.
Yeah, the crew is Anthony Jordan. He's the crew chief. Olandis Poole and Billy Dunlap, they are the officials here today in Spartanburg, South Carolina at the beautiful Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, transformational arena for this program. You know, Mike Young helped build this program to what it was. Director of Athletics Richard Johnson, coach now AD. I mean, they're just what they did with the help of Jerry Richardson, an incredible venue.
All right, so the crew chief, actually it was referee Olandis Poole. He came over and they're upgrading that situation to a flagrant 1 on Messiah Jones on the elbow to the face of Garrett Heen.
Well, and when you go by the definition of flagrant 1, it's excessive. It's not an F2 to where it's a cause for any kind of, you're throwing him out of the game. And you see it right there, excessive and or unnecessary. It was not legitimately on the ball. Now look, those two are trying to gain position for rebounding, but clearly that was a left elbow, and that's the right call by this outstanding crew today.
So Jalen Slauson will go to the line. And Garrett Heen was supposed to shoot the free throws, but he's unable to, so Wofford chooses Jalen Slauson to go to the line and shoot the free throws for the flagrant 1 committed by Wofford, and Slauson makes 1 of 2.
Not easy shooting into that Wofford student section. They are out in full force here this afternoon. They recognize this rivalry and the importance of the game, particularly for their Terriers.
So after being down 8-0 to begin the game, Furman within 2, a chance to tie or take the lead on this trip. Bothwell working inside, stopped, Slauson in the lane. 6 to shoot. Slauson with 3. Make it Bothwell with 3. Puts up a 3 and it goes in. Mike Bothwell, his first basket of the day. He has 5 points.
Corey Tripp had done an outstanding job, particularly when Bothwell was trying to back him into the post one-on-one. But when that switch occurred, Bothwell was able to step back and hit over the outstretched arms of Mack.
And a 9-0 run by Furman to take the lead by 1.
This is what Furman can do. They can score in bunches.
Tripp in the lane. Blocking foul called on Alex Williams of Furman. That's his first, and Corey Tripp will head to the line and shoot 2.
Watch Bothwell right here. He recognizes the clock. On that pick and roll, there's a switch. He recognizes the clock is down, steps back, creates a little space. He's got a knack to make tough shots, both outside the arc and around the rim. It's why he's one of the SoCon's best.
Here's Corey Tripp at the line. 75% free throw shooter, knocks it down. He had a career-high 19 points on Wednesday in the loss on the road at Western Carolina. This kid went from limited playing time last year to a starter this year. As you see, Mike Bothwell, leading scorer for Furman. He'll take a break and have a seat.
Yeah, my guess is Bob Ritchie trying to get him a break around the under-12 media. You're exactly right about Tripp, though. Boy, his improvement has been profound.
J.P. Pegues nails a 3, shooting 34% from downtown this year, and Furman leads by 3.
Speaking of improved, J.P. Pegues kind of worked while he waited behind Alex Hunter.
Here's Chase Martin, number 5, new sub into the game for Wofford into Mack's hands. Mack trying to create, draws the double. Pavletsky rims out on that 3, fight for the rebound, cleared by Pegues. One-on-one against Tripp down the lane. Tripp steals it away from him, out of bounds, and it'll stay with Furman underneath. Good transition D by Corey Tripp.
Yeah, he moved his feet. He understood what was going on. Watch this effort right here. Comes back, slaps the ball, no foul. He's a little bit of a Swiss Army knife for this Wofford team. I mean, he's improved his shot. He's bought into his role, and he also knows he's got to be kind of the premier defender and guard guys like Bothwell and other guys in this league.
Another 3 goes in by J.P. Pegues. Back-to-back 3s for Pegues, and Furman has his biggest lead of 6.
Well, you know now why Bob Ritchie chose not to call a timeout when the Paladins were down 8-0.
Pavletsky, the pump fake, steps inside. Off the mark with that 2. Rebound Furman. Furman on a 15-1 run here in the last couple of minutes.
And now it is simply one and done for the Terriers.
Williams, his 3 is good. His second of the game. He has 8 points in the afternoon. Timeout taken by Wofford. .11:40 to go here in the first half.
Well, in the blink of an eye, these Furman Paladins put points on you. They average 82 a game. They're on a huge run, up 9.
In Spartanburg, it's raining 3s here today in Spartanburg game.
Yeah, and it's been a variety of guys since they got up to that slow start. Alex Williams with 2, point guard J.P. Pegues with 2, Mike Bothwell with a step back as the shot clock's going down. This is a team that's shooting 38% behind the arc in conference play, and they're showing now why they are experienced, they're battle-tested, and they simply don't get rattled.
As a team, Furman 5 of 11 on 3s. You see the start for Furman. It was a slow start, 0 for 5 from the field. Since then, 6 of 8 from the floor. Currently on an 18-1 run after being down early.
They understand the importance of this game, this rivalry, as you mentioned at the opening, to stay near the top of the leaderboard in Southern Conference standings with Samford undefeated at 8-0. Furman was the preseason pick by both the coaches and the media.
All right, so Wofford threw the first punch, Dean. Furman responded well with a punch of its own as Chase Martin hits a 3. Besides that, what does Wofford need to do to kind of chip away at this lead?
Well, you've got to make sure you get back against this Paladin offense. Boy, they'll push it at every opportunity, both makes and misses. So you got to get back and you got to locate your man and try to play half court.
Here's Slauson inside, outside Marcus Foster, who's back in. Leans inside, can't finish, foul called on Wofford. And it's on Chase Martin, and that's his first.
Chase Martin's a guy who allows them. He's a natural small forward, but they can play some small ball with him at the 4, if you will. He can guard on the perimeter. He can guard inside. But he got just enough of the arm there as Foster is going to put it up.
Foster, redshirt junior from Atlanta, Georgia. 86% free throw shooter. Cooley knocks it down. One more coming.
I said moments ago, I think he's the X factor on this team. Many times, Marcus Foster is the most valuable player. Look, and that's no disrespect. Jalen Slauson, Mike Bothwell, who just checked back in, are, you know, they're in the talk of player of the year in this league. But Marcus Foster now, 4th year in the program. His numbers are up. He's just a talented wing player.
And Foster, 10 points, 7 rebounds in Wednesday's win at Chattanooga. And goes 1 for 2 at the stripe. Furman now 4 out of 6 at the free throw line. Wofford ball down 7 inside 11 minutes to go here in the first half.
In some respects, Wofford's got to be able to keep pace and try to outscore Furman. I mean, you got to limit him. You can't allow him to put 82 on you here in your home arena. But Furman's going to score points. Nice drive by the freshman. Gets inside, and then a nice little reverse pivot to get away and separation from Pegues. This kid right here has had an outstanding first season.
Yeah, 6'3", just a freshman. First free throw is good. Hails from Kimberly, Wisconsin. And Coach Dwight Perry said before the game, there's not a freshman point guard in the country that's been asked to do more for his team than Jackson Pawelewski has been asked to do this year at Wofford.
Well, think about this. I mean, his numbers are fantastic, right? 46 from the floor, 40 from the 3, 87 from the line, and he's playing major minutes. I mean, there's very few teams that are having to play a point guard 32, 35 minutes a game. Pawelewski has done it well. Dwight Perry has managed it well.
Foster, the pump fake, goes inside. Shot rejected by Amari Tice and taken by Wofford. 2-on-2 break. Tice inside, lays it in.
That's exactly what Amari Tice does. He gives them length at the defensive end.
Ben Vanderwall, shot rejected by Filovich of Wofford and taken by Pawelewski. Here's Tice, scored a basket a moment ago. Now Wofford with some momentum. They go inside to Filovich. Inside against Lawson, no. Rebound, reaped down by Pegues for Furman.
Filovich doesn't miss that very often.
Foster, again, creating, missing that shot. Rebound skied for by Chase Martin for Wofford. Here's Pawelewski, trying to create again. He's not bashful in terms of going inside, not afraid. Shot rejected by Vanderwall, but Pawelewski is fouled. He'll head of the line and shoot 2.
It was defense right there by Tice, and then it was offense. Watch the little Euro step. Tried to revert the potential charge with Boswell. Nice job by the freshman who spent a year at South Kent, up in Kent, Connecticut. Nice job, Amari Tice.
And Pawelewski goes to the line again. 86% free throw shooter. Calmly knocks that one down. Wofford 4 of 5 at the line. Back to Pawelewski. Coach Dwight Perry said he's not playing like a typical freshman. He's averaging 13 points a game and says he's just now scratching the surface with his potential and how good he can be as a player here at Wofford.
I think Pawelewski has handled what was a difficult situation back in December with a coaching change. You know, for a young kid, an 18, 19-year-old playing these minutes, he's handled it really, really well.
Bothwell trying to create, banks it in as he gets back in the scoring column. Bothwell now with 7 points.
If it's your first time seeing Furman, in particular Mike Bothwell, you're in for a treat for 40 minutes.
And that basket by Bothwell ends a 9-1 run by Wofford. Silas in the lane, goes left hand, can't convert. Rebound Bothwell for Furman. And the Paladins want to move all the way. Bothwell shoots and misses. Pump back jam by Jalen Slauson.
Terry, your team just got caught ball watching. Everybody was watching Mike Bothwell go down the lane, and Slauson finished up the miss. Can't get into a track meet if you're Wofford with this Furman team, but you do have to try to get some easy baskets. Paveletzky's been as good as any trying to get in the paint.
Here's the follow jam by Jalen Slauson.
Well, everybody's watching the ball thinking it's going in, and then Slauson, who just is a high-flying athlete, great motor. You know, he's the reigning defensive player of the year in the Southern Conference. Everybody talks about, you know, what he's done, what he does offensively. And think about this, though. Players get awards based on 95% at the offensive end, but 50% of the game is played at the defensive end.
Carson McCorkle, catch and shoot three. Rebound, run down by Pegues for Furman. A Furman team that is number one in the SoCon in scoring at 81.7 points per game. And Pegues flies down the lane and scores another easy two.
That's just too easy. That is simply too easy. We talked about it. You've got to get back in transition against this Paladin team.
Here's Silas. He goes up left hand and scores. Adam Silas with his first 2 points of the game.
He talks about Paveletzky. We have, right? But I think Silas is as talented a freshman.
Slauson, triple team. Someone's open. They find Alex Williams. Williams all the way. Lays it in. He has 10 points off the bench, Dean, here in the first half.
Yeah, he's been very aggressive. The guy that comes in averaging 5 points a game. McCorkle got to following Vanderwall out there. Didn't stay connected on his defensive principles.
Inside Mack, too hard with the pass by Silas, out of bounds. Turnover, Wofford, number 4.
Now this Furman team can put points on the board in a hurry. They know how to squeeze the trigger. Boy, you've got to get back and stop. If not, they'll finish.
Baycott breaking Tyler Hansbrough's North Carolina career rebounding record yesterday.
Yeah, and broke Billy Cunningham's record for double-doubles. When you're mentioned with those guys, you're in rare air. That's pretty impressive.
So there is Alex Williams. He is 4 for 5 from the field. He has 10 points. The rest of the Furman team is 6 out of 16.
Alex Williams has been really, really good here in the first half. Arguably the best half he's played this season for the Paladins.
Here's Bothwell, quick step on the baseline. Quick blocking foul called on Carson McCorkle of Wofford, and that's his first. And Dean, this up and down pace, it favors Furman. It likes to score, especially in transition. So how does Wofford keep it a half-court game?
Well, they've got to be good on offense themselves. They've got to take good shots. And they hope to make shots so that they can get back and build their defense. Otherwise, they're going to lose a track meet most days against this Furman team.
Furman leads the SoCon, 81.7 points per game, leads the SoCon in field goal percentage at 49.6. Shot for 3, missed by Williams. Here comes Paveletzky for Wofford.
Partly what's helped this Furman team, too. They had 4 turnovers in the first 4 minutes. They've not had a single one since.
Mack, wide open, hits a 3. B.J. Mack dials from long distance. His first 3 of the game. He has 7 points.
He is a capable three-point shooter, taking more this year than ever before. Percentage down a little bit, but if you're Dwight Perry, you welcome him when he gets his feet set.
Slauson doubled, inside Anderson, outside Williams, open 3. And offensive rebound by Furman, and a steal by Wofford. Turnover on Furman, number 5 in the game.
Never fails, right? Just talked about no turnovers for almost 10 minutes for the Paladins, and then Witt throws it away.
Paveletzky weaving through traffic into Tripp's hands. Now to Mack. He hit a 3 just a possession ago.
And if you're Wofford, you've got to try to find Mack inside and let him operate.
And a hand slap foul on Alex Williams for Furman, his second of the game.
Mack's a guy, we saw it early in this game. I mean, he'll make the nice pass, whether it's to the power side, his side, or opposite when he gets double teamed.
As Alex Williams takes a seat, has a breather with 10 points and a couple of threes made already in the first half. Wofford down 4, trying to chip away at the lead some more, coming up on 6 minutes to go in the half. Jones against Lawson. Can't convert. Out of bounds off of Civils for Wofford. Back over to Furman.
Messiah Jones says, my bad. He knows that he had his defender one-on-one.
It's a Furman team which beat South Carolina in the Power 5 by 19 earlier in the season, and Furman has won 7 of his last 9 coming into today.
It's a team that also beat Belmont earlier in the season, who's near the top of the Missouri Valley standings.
As a Slauson backpedals his way inside, and we get a reach-in foul. It's on Jackson Civils of Wofford. That's his first. Power 6 wins this season. Furman defeating South Carolina. We mentioned it by 19 on November 20th. How about Wofford going on the road, winning at Texas A&M by 5 on December the 20th.
A&M was undefeated in SEC play until going to Rupp Arena yesterday. Everybody talks about, well, is the Southern Conference as good as it has been in recent years? I think it's very balanced. Boy, there's 4 or 5 teams at the top of the standings who play with any mid-major league in the country.
Corey Tripp sneaks down the baseline. He lays it in. He has 5 points, and the Furman lead down to 2. Pegues' 3 goes in as he has his 3rd 3 of the game. He has 11 points.
Paladin now 6 of 12. He said they've really started to find their range in conference play behind the arc. 3rd in the league at 38%, 50% today. Boy, they're hard to guard when they're knocking down those shots.
Here's Mack over the left shoulder, drops it in. 9 points by B.J. Mack. And we mentioned J.P. Pegues hit a 3 a moment ago. Bob Ritchie said before the game that in his opinion, J.P. Pegues has been the most improved player in the SoCon from last year to this season. And Pegues passes over to Carter Witt. Misfires from 3. Rebound by Civils for Wofford.
I don't disagree, although I think Dwight Perry would argue that Corey Tripp is the most improved player in the Southern Conference. There's a number of guys that have stepped up.
Pavlovsky from 3. And a timeout taken by Bob Ritchie and Furman. Oh, instead of foul, there's a foul called on Furman, not a timeout, a foul called on Furman. On Mike Bothwell, that's his first.
Watch it here again. Pavlovsky finds himself in the deep corner, and just enough of a nudge. Look, that might be, in my opinion, that was after the shot. Boy, Bothwell, I don't know that he touched Pavlovsky while he was in the air. I thought he was already down on the ground or headed that way. Nevertheless, a chance at a 4-point play and the lead again for the Terriers.
And he drops it in. 10 points for Pavlovsky, and Furman back in the lead by 1, 33-32. It's been a back and forth game here today between Wofford and Furman. This is Wofford's first lead since it was 10-8 in the early going.
And they have awoken this Wofford crowd once again.
Foster in the paint. Needs help and finds Pegues. Pegues with a hot hand. 3 threes in the game. Step back jump shot. No. Rebound. Ari Tice has it for Wofford. Wofford trying to extend the lead some more. Up 1 as we approach 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Tripp. Into Pavlovsky's hands. He'll run the offense on the point. Pavlovsky spinning inside. Shoots and scores. And he's fouled. A chance for a 3-point play. And a timeout on the court. A 13-3 run by Wofford to claim the lead by 3 as Jackson Pavlovsky earning his keep, getting the basket and the foul for Wofford. Back in Spartanburg, 35-32, Wofford in the lead with 3:32 to go in the first half. Here is our Big Monday doubleheader on ESPN and on the app. Duke is in Blacksburg taking on Virginia Tech at 7 Eastern. Then we head to Waco, Texas for Keontae George and number 21 Baylor squaring off against Jalen Wilson and second-ranked Kansas. Big Monday tomorrow night on ESPN.
Nothing like Big Monday. You think Bill Self won't have those Kansas Jayhawks ready. When Jamie Dixon took TCU into Allen Fieldhouse yesterday.
And there's Garrett Heen took an elbow to the face early in the first half and could not shoot the free throws, so he came out of the game and still being tended to. We hope he's okay.
After you saw that replay, he did catch an elbow by Messiah Jones. No intent, I don't think, but and you know what? I don't know how much it's affected Messiah Jones. He hasn't played a ton since that.
So Jackson Paveletzky completes the three-point play. He has a four-point play. He's scored Wofford's last 7 points.
Look at the freshmen that have impacted this game for Wofford. I mean, Paveletzky, what about Amari Tice, especially at the defensive end?
Pegues inside and rolls it in there. He couldn't decide whether to shoot or pass, and the last second puts it in for two.
Yeah, did a little bit of a victory lap.
Wofford's lead is 2. Mack, open three, and down it goes! A three by Mack, his second of the game, and it's Furman in the lead by 5.
2 extra passes right there. First by Paveletzky, and then by Tice.
And can Furman now respond? Here's Bothwell creating, fouled. And he'll head to the line and shoot 2. Foul is on Chase Martin of Wofford, and that's his second.
We just talked about it. This last possession, look, Paveletzky gets in the paint. He finds Tripp to Tice to Mack. That is good offense right there. Mack shooting just 31% behind the arc, but he is a much better shooter than that.
So here's Bothwell at the line, 6'3", redshirt senior from Cleveland Heights, Ohio. And that's point number 8 of the game for Bothwell. He had 22 points on Wednesday night in the win at Chattanooga. That was a game, Dean, in which Furman held Chattanooga into the 60s. Won on the road in the Mocs home court and held the one and only Jake Stevens to only 11 shots taken. And a score and a foul. Ben Vanderwall gets the offensive putback. He scores. He'll head to the line for a potential three-point play.
We talk about the freshman for Wofford. What about the freshman for Furman? Ben Vanderwall right there. Rebound and finishes with contact. Look at the emotion. He's never been a part of this rivalry, but he understands what's at stake.
So here's Ben Vanderwall at the line, 6'7" freshman from Elmhurst, Illinois. And cannot complete the three-point play, but he gets another offensive rebound. And the shot clock reset to 20. Pegues wide open. Not this time from 3. Rebound ripped away by Amari Tice for Wofford. Wofford in the lead by 2. We're coming up on 2 minutes to go in the first half.
Mack had Pegues down there, and Tice just couldn't get it to him.
Tripp, fadeaway 3. And rebound by Pegues for Furman. Numbers for Furman, 5 on 4. Wofford is down a man as Tice just now gets back on D. Bothwell into the lane. Draws the contact, the foul. He'll shoot 2.
Boy, and that's why Mike Bothwell has scored over 1,700 career points. You saw him earlier in the game, a step-back 3 when the clock's going down, but he's got such a knack and the ability to put a little hesitation. He can go behind his back. He's got multiple moves to get in the paint. And if he doesn't finish, he finds his way to the free throw line where he's a terrific free throw shooter.
It's the rivalry that elevated women's basketball to the national stage in the 90s. Number 5 UConn takes on Tennessee in Knoxville Thursday night, 8 Eastern on ESPN and on the app. College Game Day starts our coverage from Thompson Bowling Arena at 7 Eastern. So Mike Bothwell hits the first free throw. He has 9 points in the game. Again, an 84% free throw shooter, knocks them both down.
It's a compliment to Bob Ritchie and his staff, too, that Jalen Slauson and Mike Bothwell, fifth-year guys, they've hung in there in this day and age of the transfer portal. They have been through and through Paladins.
There's Mack. He has a couple of threes in this game. Into Paveletzky. There he goes. Shoots and scores. 15 points for Jackson Paveletzky here in the first half.
There's a guy, double figures, just one of his last 4. Wouldn't know it here watching this afternoon.
Vanderwall, too strong on the 3. Offensive rebound piece. Pegues again for 3, and it goes goes in. His fourth three of the game.
And that was Amari Tice. He didn't put the box out on Foster, which led to the second chance opportunity.
And Furman back in the lead by one, coming up on 1 minute to go in the first half. Silas wide open. Rebound Vanderwall for Furman.
Silas just 3 of his last 20 from behind the arc.
Blocking foul called in transition on Jackson Pavlovsky. That's his first.
But Geese, boy, watch this. Tice doesn't box out Foster, and that's where open threes happen at a high rate, is when there's a long rebound. Everybody gets caught ball watch, and Foster finds his teammate Pegues, who knocks it down, who's really feeling it here this afternoon. Pegues, an important player for Paladin's success. If they want to get over the hump and they want to advance to the NCAA tournament, and that really is the ultimate goal for everybody in the Southern Conference, but more than anything, this Furman team, who have been good for years and just haven't been able to advance. Stephen Kroon to Alex Hunter, and now it's J.P. Pegues at the point guard slot.
Bothwell makes the first free throw, averaging 19 points a game. He has 11 so far. Last year averaged 15 points a game, led Furman. First team all SoCon, according to the coaches voting last year. And nails them both. He has 12. Furman, 7 of 12 at the line. Paladins by 3. And Wofford comes up the floor with Mack, Silas, Jones, Tice, and Pavlovsky.
Pavlovsky off the ball. He's a natural point guard, but he can play off. Trying to create something for him. He's just had the hot hand.
Jones drives inside strong and draws the contact. He's fouled. He'll head to the line and shoot 2. Fouls on Jalen Slauson of Furman. His second of the game.
Nice move by Jones right there. Been a tough 16 months for this young man, and coming off of an Achilles injury. Just a number of different things going on in his life. He is resilient, he is tough, and he is kind of a connection to really arguably the greatest team in Wofford history, that 2018-2019 team that went 30-5 under Mike Young, Fletcher McGee, Cam Jackson, Storm Murphy. They beat Seton Hall in the NCAA tournament and could have very easily beaten Kentucky.
So Messiah Jones scores his first 2 of the game. 1-point game, high-scoring game, 44-43. Furman in the lead by 1. And there's an 0.8 of a second differential between the two clocks. The shot clock and the game clock virtually identical. So Furman, in a sense, can hold for the last shot if it wants to here in the first half.
We're going to assume there's going to be some kind of pick and roll at the top. There you see it. Now Bothwell will operate. I highly doubt he's going to give it up.
Pegues, that's a deep 3. Look out. Too strong. Rebound, Pavlovsky, and that's it for the first half. Crowd wanted a foul called on Furman on the loose ball. The crowd does not get it, and halftime is here. What a game. 44-43. Furman in the lead at the break. Furman 13-1 this year when leading at halftime. Great game back and forth after the break. We will send it to Kevin Connors in the studio. It's Furman 44, Wofford 43 on ESPNU.
And you're worried if you're Bob Rich, you can't let Wofford shoot 58% again. You've got to tighten the defense up. You can't just let your guys assume they're going to go on the road and they're going to outscore the opponent. If you're Dwight Perry, you've got some things offensively, but defensively, you've got to make sure you get back in transition.
So the start of the second half, Wofford with the ball first, down 1. Furman 13-1 this year when leading at the break. Corey Tripp's 3 goes down. Instant offense to begin the second half.
They wanted to get Messiah Jones on the post up, and he found Tripp outside.
Collision, no call. They play on, and here comes Wofford in the lead by 2 after that Tripp 3. A possession to go. Pavletsky finds Tripp, hit a three a moment ago.
Clearly an emphasis to try to go inside. First possession was Jones. This possession they've wanted to try to go into Mack. Now it's Jones again.
5 to shoot. Fadeaway jumper missed by Jones, and the weak side rebound by Williams for Furman.
Interesting. We've got the game within the game. We've got some interesting matchups out here. Can Tripp contain Mike Bothwell? Can Pavletsky contain Pegues?
Shot for three, short by Slauson, rebound Wofford. Second half adjustments, what do you expect to see?
Well, I don't think either coach is going to deviate much from half-court man-to-man defense. Offensively, right, you've got to try to get Mack and Pavletsky some open looks.
A pushing foul up front. It's on Marcus Foster. Number 5 in purple, his first foul of the game.
Bob Ritchie's got a nice core. It's a starting 5, but then when you get play like what you did from Alex Williams, Ben Vanderwall, even Carter Witt off the bench. Now if you're going 8 deep, they will have to play this half without 6'9" forward Garrett Heen.
Here's Tripp weaving through traffic into Jones's hands, outside Sybils, open three, and puts it in. Jackson Sybils, his first points of the game as he dials from deep, and it's Wofford in the lead by 5.
You've got to guard the transfer from Murray State outside the arc. Arguably played his best game in a Terrier uniform at Western Carolina this week.
And Slauson misses the bunny inside, rebound Wofford in the lead by 5. 2 minutes gone by here in the second half of play.
Boy, Mack casually brought it up the court, almost had a backcourt violation.
Here's Sybils, hit a three a moment ago for Furman. Into Pavletsky's hands, shot clock at 8. Pavletsky, step back three, not this time, rebound into Sybils' hands, puts it in, and he's fouled. A chance for a three-point play.
Sybils has come out of the gate right here and been the X factor. He makes the three, and he comes back with the offensive rebound effort play. And one opportunity. Bob Ritchie wants a timeout.
An 8-0 run by Wofford to begin the second half. It is Wofford by 7 here in Spartanburg. Kansas, Kentucky, the top 2 winningest teams in college basketball history, to do battle against each other at Rupp Arena.
Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that. A lot at stake. Kentucky trying to claw their way back into NCAA talk. Still a lot of basketball to be played, but as you head toward February, it's not so much about your record, but it's about where you're headed as a team. And John Calipari has turned things around here in the last 10 days for the Wildcats.
So Furman down 8, still looking for its first points here in the second half. A 9-0 run by Wofford to begin the second half, but not until Jalen Slauson slams it down. That's only his second basket of the game. He has 5 points.
He can certainly do that. And he's expanded his game in recent years where he can use it more than one dribble.
Jones free inside, missing with the left hand. Rebound Furman. It's a Furman team that we were just told Garrett Heen is out of the game for the rest of the game. Took a elbow to the head in the first half earlier in the game.
Watch Slauson right here. He just goes by Jones like he's in cement boots. And Mack gets caught with his back turned, so an easy finish.
And how about the growth of this young man? 4 years ago as a freshman, scored only 19 points the entire season.
Had more fouls than points, and now he's going to be a 1,500 career point scorer, reigning defensive player of the year, trying to get this team to the NCAA tournament. I mean, just that speaks volumes about him as a young person and player, and you'd hope that young players see that. Stay the course. Work while you have to wait.
Sybils, outside Mack, wide open. Rims out that three, fight for the rebound, cleared by J.P. Pegues. Up the floor, Ben Vanderwall drives in and scores! There's Tyrese Huey, 6th man with the Furman team. He's in street clothes, out today. Garrett Heen is out, so now the Furman bench is even thinner.
Yeah, Bob Ritchie having to manage things right here.
Sybil's can't convert. Offensive rebound by Filowich out to Mack. His three. It's good! That's his third three of the game. He has 13 points, and it's Wofford by 7.
Again, his stats don't bear out how good he is when his feet are set behind the arc. A dangerous guy at his size that can make shots from 25 feet.
Pegues stopped to the Foster's hands, open three, and down it goes. A three by Marcus Foster, his first basket of the day.
It can't be understated. You just said it, that Bob Ritchie now having to manage a much shorter bench with Tyrese Huey in street clothes and Garrick Heen now not able to play this half because of taking an elbow in the first. So a much shorter bench for Furman.
Pavlovsky drives inside against Slauson. Slauson called for the foul, his third foul of the game.
It is back and forth inside Richardson Indoor Stadium. One of the few bad things that Sybil's has done this half, but never mind that. BJ Mack will clean it up. Another three for the big fella.
Tomorrow night on ESPN and the ESPN app. So the Furman Paladins come out of the huddle down 4, 55-51. And for Wofford, Dean, how about the shooting? 54% overall as a team from the floor and 50% from three.
7 of 14 behind the arc, led by BJ Mack. And you know what else? They've only turned the ball over 4 times. And it's not always what you do right, but it's what you don't do wrong that helps you win basketball games.
Filowich inside, can't convert, late foul called, and he'll head to the line and shoot 2. Fouls on Marcus Foster for Furman, and that's his second.
I said it in the first half. Filowich, a guy that really plays his role well. Nice little pass right there by Mack on the baseline. Gets it by 2 Paladin defenders.
And we talked about the transfer portal. This is one of the newcomers on the team for Wofford. He's one of 10 newcomers. Transferred from Southern Illinois. Last year, 31 games, 4 starts. 2 years ago, made the Missouri Valley Conference all-freshman team. He has 2 points in the game, 0 for 1 on this trip at the line.
He's one of those guys, he's better from the floor than he is the free throw line. Sometimes you just want to tell those guys to shoot a jump shot from 15 feet.
Wofford by 5, inside 15 minutes to go. Pegues driving inside, all the way left hand, no. Rebound on the deck, it's out of bounds. It'll stay with Furman.
Tice took an elbow right there. I'm not sure if it's his lip or a tooth. He's calling to come out of the game. I don't think the officials are going to look at anything, and he's running back in the concourse right there. Amari Tice gave them just terrific minutes in the first half. Didn't have gaudy stats. He had 3 rebounds. Watch it here again. I think he's under the basket, and then there's just a couple of different. There you see the elbow by Bothwell.
And the officials going to check. Anthony Jordan, Olandis Poole, Billy Dunlap, the officiating crew.
Well, by rule, they really have to. They have to go to it with Tice kind of asking out. And now they're going to bring the crew in to really look at it one more time. Is it a basketball play or is it excessive? And I think, by the way, the ball was just bouncing, right? I think Bothwell's hand just kind of went up, but boy, it is one of those 50-50.
And Olandis Poole, one of the officials, just looked at us and said, nothing there to see, so we continue.
I love the use, and you see there the trainer working on Tice trying to get back in the game, but I love the use of video. I just don't like that teams can go to their huddle during that time.
That's a free timeout, right?
Absolutely.
Backdoor pass, and scoring inside is J.P. Pegues. His first points of the second half give him 18 for the game.
A terrific set call right there by Bob Ritchie. out of what was essentially a timeout.
Mack, step back jumper. Leaves it short. Rebound by Carter Witt. For Furman, played a couple of minutes in the first half. McGeese hit 4 threes in the first half. He's yet to make a 3 in the second half. Outside, Carter Witt, shot rejected, ball tipped around. Into Foster's hands, plenty of time on the shot clock. Here's Vanderwall, steps into a 3 and knocks it down. A 3 for Furman.
J.P. McGeese had so much to do with the success of that possession. I mean, he tipped the ball out to Foster, then he gets credited with the assist. Terrific basketball play right there.
An 8-1 run by Furman to tie the game up at 56. Filowich bumps and fouled by Vanderwall. That's his second, and Amari Tice looks to be okay. He's going to check back in.
It's a good sign. You got to watch the inbounder. Freshman Adam Sileth gets caught ball watching. That's what happens. Nice job, and a nice job by McGeese there to thank his teammate for giving the assist. Goes back to Dean Smith, started that many years ago. Thank the guy who gave you the pass.
Jones inside, back outside to Tice, 10 to shoot. Jones spinning on Foster, driving inside, left hand rejected on the weak side by Slauson and taken by McGeese. McGeese creating down the lane, scores a 2.
J.P. McGeese, all due respect to Alex Hunter. He is making Furman fans forget about him as arguably one of the greatest point guards in Furman history.
And J.P. McGeese ties his career high with 20 points. Paveletzky inside, no. Jones the putback, yes.
A little talking going on right here. I love it. You don't think these guys know what's at stake in the standings, the rivalry?
Ball backed away to Foster's hands, puts up a 3, rims out on him. Vanderwall is there for the putback. 9 points by Ben Vanderwall, 7 in the second half.
And he's been big off the bench for Furman. He's going to need to be, right? Again, with Huey and Heen out. Sometimes it's the unexpected guys that can step up and make plays when the plays break down.
McCorkle steps into a 3. That's off the mark. Run down, out of bounds off of Wofford, back to Furman.
There's been some defense to offense on both sides. Watch the block from the help side from Slauson, and then it's off to the races. And that's generally where good shot blockers, they don't necessarily block their own offensive players' shots. They come from the help side, and then they turn that into points at the other end. Or J.P. McGeese getting a much-needed break. He'll probably be back after the 12-minute media timeout.
Here's Bothwell. He's back in, so is Williams. Vanderwall, another 3. That's way off the mark, and it's caught by Amari Tice, and he's fouled as we go to break. 11:59 to go in the game of the SoCon in Spartanburg. It is Furman in the lead by 2. Late in last year's SoCon Tournament Championship game, Furman's Mike Bothwell scores with 5 seconds left to take a 63-61 lead for Furman, but Chattanooga's David Jean-Baptiste hits a deep 3 at the buzzer, breaking the Paladins' hearts and sending the Mocs to the big dance. 64-61 the final.
Well, it's mid-major basketball. You see the heartbreak right there by the Paladins when that shot went in by Jean-Baptiste, and that's part of the reason why those two guys right there, Bothwell and Slauson, have come back for their 5th year. It's been 1980 was the last Furman team to play in the NC2A tournament. They want to change that. They want to set their legacy, and they've got a chance to do it. But first things first, they need to win here on the road.
Tripp fakes the 3, goes baseline, Mack inside, couple of pump fakes, lays it up and lays it in. 15 points for B.J. Mack. We're tied at 60. And for Furman, Mike Bothwell, he's back on the floor for the Paladins, Dean. Bothwell, no field goals made since the 9-minute mark of the first half. How do they get him involved?
Well, he can do it with or without the ball. I think you got to put him in situations where he can get one-on-one opportunities.
Here's Slauson, draws the double, scores the basket and a foul, and Jalen Slauson heads to the line for a potential three-point play.
Now that was good basketball right there. Slauson and the Furman Paladins recognized that he was one-on-one with Pavletsky. Now, as soon as he was already into his shooting motion when Sybil's came to help on the blind side, at that point, Slauson was already into his shooting motion, and he's strong enough and big enough to finish over those two Wofford guards.
And Bob Ritchie says Slauson, his scoring is up this year. He's been driving the ball better. He's been splitting time 50-50 between playing the 5 spot and the 4. Nails the free throw there. Furman 10 of 15 at the line, and Furman back in the lead by 3. Pavletsky drives baseline. And into the hands of Tripp, now Mack. Mack against Slauson. Draws the double team, banks it in. B.J. Mack, back-to-back buckets. He has 17 points.
That was terrific footwork. That was just better offense over really good defense. Against Slauson, the reigning defensive player of the year in the league. He's got a couple of block shots here today, but B.J. Mack just better offensively. He's got another opportunity to go one-on-one.
Williams, that's a 3. Got it. A 3 by Williams, his 3rd of the game.
He had been quiet after an outstanding first half. He, along with Vanderwall and Witt, kind of the 3 guys now. That's the Furman bench with Heen and Huey not available.
Pavletsky slips inside, outside Tice, open 3. And Sybil's the offensive rebound. Too strong on that shot. Might have been partially blocked from behind. Taken by Furman. Here comes Witt. Alley block broken up. Into the hands of Bothwell, and the Paladins will reset.
Good transition defense by Wofford right there.
Bothwell against Mack. Goes inside. No, but he's fouled. He'll head to the line and shoot 2.
And that's just what we talked about. When he can get in one-on-one situations where he can put the defense on their heels. Mack first on the other end. Watch this footwork. Up, under, and through 2 Paladins. Slauson once traveling. No, not at all. That was just an outstanding play. Then at the other end, he was trying to guard Bothwell one-on-one, and Mike Bothwell can put you in tough situations when he can get you one-on-one and help doesn't come.
First point for Bothwell in the second half. He has 13 for the game. As a couple of subs come in for Wofford, Jones and Martin back in, replacing Tice and Sybil's.
And that's the thing, Bob Ritchie's talked about it with Bothwell. That's now his 13th point. And he'll end up with 20, but he'll do it in a way where it's a part of the flow of the offense. He doesn't force, not that he ever did, but he's really become a complete basketball player at the offensive end.
And Furman's lead is up to 6. Mack. And Tripp. Tight ropes the sideline. Pavletsky driving inside. Crawls off the rim for him, and the rebound by Pegues for Furman. Outside Vanderwall. Now to Bothwell's hands.
A couple of misses. Just point blank for Wofford, and they find themselves down 6.
2-man game inside. Basket counts and a foul. Jalen Slauson now in double figures with 10 points.
And this is a difficult time right now for Wofford. Watch Slauson again. Terrific pass by J.P. Pegues. Just threads the needle. Slauson knows how to finish, even with contact. Momentum has no allegiance. It has shifted back and forth all day long inside Richardson Indoor Stadium.
Yeah, it's been like a boxing match here tonight. Wofford threw the first punch. Furman countered, fought back. It's been back and forth all day long, and now it's Furman in the lead by 8. So now if you're Wofford, what does it go back to try and get back into this game?
Well, offensively, I mean, they've gotten some good looks here in the last couple of possessions. Jackson Sybil's missed one inside, and then that last possession, Pavletsky went right down the lane and missed the left hand. I mean, just a couple that have rimmed out. It's not necessarily anything Furman's doing defensively. They just haven't been able to connect, but it's a dangerous time right now. You know, they're down 8. A potential free throw by Slauson makes it 9. You can't give this Furman team the confidence where they just start free-flowing.
It's one of the great rivalries in the Southern Conference. Furman against Wofford. Furman located in Greenville, South Carolina. Wofford right here in Spartanburg, South Carolina. About 40 miles apart here in the Palmetto State.
Well said. And there's a couple in this league. You know, yesterday, the Citadel played at VMI, and what an outstanding environment that was. 2 military institutions. And then when Chattanooga and ETSU were good, that's also a terrific rivalry in this league.
So Slauson can't complete the three-point play opportunity. Furman by 8 as we approach 9 minutes to go in the game.
You've got to get the ball in Pavletsky's hands to try to create, maybe not for himself, but for others.
Tice on the baseline, 5 to shoot. Mack has it. Mack with 3, puts up a 3. Rims out on him. Good box out defense by Furman. Here comes Pegues. They swing it to Williams. Open 3 on the way. Down it goes. Another 3 by Williams. His 4th of the night. He has 16 points.
My goodness. Williams, arguably the best game he's had in a Paladin uniform.
A 10-0 run by Furman. Out of bounds to the Paladins. It's Furman by 11. That's the largest lead of the game for Furman.
And another nice opportunity right there. Corey Tripp pulled up in the paint. Dwight Perry knows, and we're getting some good looks. But if you're not doing it at the offensive end, you sure as heck better do it at the defensive end and come up with some stops.
Williams, another 3. Not this time. Left it short. Pavletsky, the rebound for Wofford. And Wofford wants to push. Pavletsky all the way inside. Puts it in. His first points of the second half give him 17 for the game.
I keep saying it. He's listed at 175 pounds, but he competes with the big boys. He's confident. He's talented. He's played over 25 minutes without a turnover in a high-level game.
Lead is 9 for Furman. Foster, Bothwell, Slauson, 6 to shoot. Slauson falls down, traveling on Furman. It's 7th of the game, and the timeout on the court. 7:26 remaining in the game. Furman on the road, leading by 9 here on ESPNU. Back in Spartanburg, and Dean for Furman. Alex Williams has played very well here tonight. 16 points off the bench.
Very well is an understatement. Boy, the sophomore out of Xenia, Ohio, has been fantastic. And when they've needed it, the Paladins have gone to him. He is 4 of 8 behind the arc. He entered today shooting just 7 of 28. Right behind the arc, 25%. You see the stats right there. He's on the bench right now, but boy, he has provided a much-needed lift when they have needed it, particularly with 2 guys in Tyrese Huey and Garrett Heen out of the rotation right now.
So 7:20 remaining in the game. Furman with its biggest lead of the game of 11. Shot for 3 goes down by Carson McCorkle, his first points of the day, and the lead is down to 6.
And just what the doctor ordered for Wofford. Talked about Alex Williams off the bench making 3s. That's what McCorkle can do.
Bothwell in the lane. Teardrop floater goes in. 16 points for Mike Bothwell.
I've seen Mike Bothwell too much over the last 5 years. He will not go down quietly.
Pavletsky trying to create. Fadeaway jumper goes down. That was the same shot he hit in the game winner at Mercer earlier this season.
Exactly right. Back to defender in, and then just a little spin and squeeze the trigger for the basket.
So hard to guard. Such a great freshman player for this team. Foster stopped, needs help. And finds Slauson. Slauson, turnaround jumper over Mack, and it goes in.
Oh, what a soft touch. The double team never came. Well, Wofford chose to play one-on-one. Mack on Slauson. Slauson recognized it. He's pretty good on the baseline.
Pavletsky on the drive. Adjusts his shot in midair and scores over Pegues.
After taking a hit, but you can't celebrate against Wofford, against Furman. You've got to get back.
Pegues. Fight for the rebound and jump ball. They say the arrow stays with Furman.
Pavletsky trying to bring him back. Again, backs in Pegues. Reverse pivots into that shot you mentioned. And then the last possession, the hit, the finish. Boy, toughness by the freshman.
Well, Furman has slowed him down somewhat in the second half. He had 15 points in the first half, 21 now for the game. He's really had to work, though, for those 6 points here in the second half.
He has, but he shows no signs of hitting any kind of a wall. These fans recognize every possession now as we inch toward the 5-minute mark. Really critical for Wofford defensively.
6 to shoot. Bothwell with 5 in the corner, wide open. Vanderwall missing the 3. Rebound crashed and secured by Tripp. Here comes Pavletsky trying to bring his team back. Tripp stopped.
You've got to recognize, too, if you're Wofford, next foul, you're in the bonus.
Here's Mack. A couple of pump fakes, leans inside, banks it in. 19 points for B.J. Mack, and the lead is down to 4. Now it's back up to 6 on the slam by Slauson.
I sound like a broken record. You simply cannot celebrate in any form or fashion when you're playing Furman. You've got to get back to the paint and build the house defensively.
Pavletsky slips inside. Looked like he had an opening instead. Passes to Tripp. He's in the lane. His shot is well short. Rebounded by Vanderwall for Furman. Slauson finds an opening down the lane. Two-hand slam, and he's fouled, and a chance for a three-point play.
Just like that, in the blink of an eye. Boy, you thought that tide was turning toward Wofford, and Jalen Slauson takes the matters into his own hands. First, he runs the paint, he runs the floor after a made Wofford basket. Then he dribbles it just about the length of the floor and finishes in similar fashion.
And Slauson was pretty much a non-factor in the first half. Had just 3 points, 1 basket. He has 11 points here since the halftime break. 79% free throw shooter, knocks it down, nothing but net. He has 15 points, and Furman hitting its free throws, 13 of 19 in the game. There's Garrett Heen. He took an elbow to the head early in this game, has not returned, so he's out. Tyrese Huey, the 6th man for the team for Furman. He did not dress tonight. He's not feeling well, so it's a slim and thin bench for Furman, but different guys have stepped up, and it's Furman by 9, 4:20 to go. Cross-court pass, nearly stolen away. McCorkle has it, hangs in the air. Rebound Vanderwall for Furman. Approaching 4 minutes to go.
There have been a lot of stars here at both sides. But there's a reason Jalen Slauson and Mike Bothwell are littered all over the Furman record books.
Bothwell stopped into Williams' hands. Mid-range jumper goes down. 17, it's 18 points for Alex Williams, 1 shy of his season high of 19.
He played well against Citadel in that 19-point performance, but didn't play this well.
Mack just rims out a 3, and Filowich lands on the back of Slauson, who was trying to box him out. He was basically surfing on his back. Time out of the court.
Well, the largest lead is tied by Furman at 11, due in part to Jalen Slauson. He has been the man here in the last couple minutes. But Slauson has put his teammates on his back here in the last couple minutes. That's why Furman is up 11. Now he's putting the opponents on his back. And SC not top 10.
I think I'd put that in the regular top 10. I mean, that was good. That's hard to do.
He has played really well here. It has been a collective effort, though. I mean, Alex Williams off the bench, J.P. Pegues career tying 20 points.
Missing the free throw, offensive rebound, and then a steal by Pegues. Pegues racing down the floor, reverse layup, no, tapped up and in by Vanderwall.
And it was the fans want, the home crowd wanted goaltending, but that ball was just off. You had to have the right angle to understand it was off the rim.
And Furman with its biggest lead of the day of 13 points. Vilovich inside, score and a foul, a chance for a three-point play.
Wofford's not going to go away quietly, I can tell you that. But they've got to start stringing some stops together. Amazingly, that was the first turnover of the second half for Wofford, but it led to points.
So here's Kyler Filowich. The coaching staff said before the game that Filowich, he's a smart player, and the staff says it knows what it'll get each time out when Filowich goes onto the floor. Plays with a lot of hustle, a lot of heart. Missing 2 straight free throws, though. 3 minutes to go. Furman in the lead by 11.
Just simply got to dig in. You can't allow this. You can't allow Bothwell in one-on-one situations. He's simply too good. It's the second time now in the last couple minutes he's been able to get B.J. Mack one-on-one. First it was in the corner in front of the Furman bench. This last time at the top of the key. Mack thinks he got all ball, but there was a lot of body as well.
So Bothwell at the line, 16 points. He had 12 in the first half, just 4 here in the second half. Had a 22-point performance on Wednesday in the win on the road at Chattanooga. Furman currently in the 3rd place in the league, and Wofford in 6th as Bothwell goes to the line to shoot 2. First one is good. Tennis's first major of the year rolls on down under. Our round of 16 Australian Open coverage continues tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN Plus and ESPN2.
Bothwell has only taken 5 shots. He now has 18 points, 11 of 12 from the free throw line. And they throw a little 3-quarter court pressure just to slow up and take some time off the clock.
Offensive foul called on Pavletsky. That's his 2nd of the game.
They had played 17 minutes without a turnover. Now 2 turnovers as you watch it here again, where you make the call at home. Freshman on freshman. Vanderwall, was he in legal guarding position? He was outside the arc, but certainly that's a difficult play to call. Bang, bang. Is the guy set? Is he in legal guarding position?
So here comes Furman up by 13 as we have 2.5 to go. One of the all-time great rivalries of the Southern Conference, separated by just about 40 miles down the road in the Palmetto State of South Carolina. Bothwell working inside, can't finish, neither can Slauson. Over the back foul called on Slauson. He's fouled out of the game.
Mark it down at the 2:20 mark. I know it's a 13-point Furman lead, but that sends Slauson to the bench. And you've already got a short bench. And it sends Wofford to the free throw line. Opportunity to put points on the board. Bob Ritchie trying to figure out which way he's going to go. He's going to play small.
So Slauson fouls out of the game, 15 points. 12 of the 15 coming after the halftime break.
Slauson was great, and he, as much as any Paladin, is the reason they have a double-digit lead here in the second half.
Messiah Jones at the line, 6 points. Preseason All-SoCon selection this year, had 10 points, 4 boards in Wednesday night's loss at Western Carolina. First half of the 1-1, and it goes in. There's a Tyrese Huey with the multicolored shoes. What do you think of those?
I like. I
do too.
I'm sure my kids would say I'm much too conservative to wear something like that, but Huey wears them well.
timeout taken by Bob Ritchie and Furman. We'll be back in 30 seconds after this on ESPN News. Back in Spartanburg after the timeout taken by Bob Ritchie and Furman. Furman by 12, 2:09 to go. And what does Furman talk about here to try and close out the game?
Yeah, I think Bob Ritchie wanted to take a timeout to talk through the lineup, right? Slauson fouled out. You don't have Garrick Heen because of injury, or Tyrese Huey. So you're playing potentially some combinations and some guys in roles that maybe they haven't been in for. So let's talk through. You know Wofford's going to start pressing. You know they're going to start coming at you, so you got to take care of the ball, meet every pass. Remind them that the possession arrow favors you, Furman. Also remind them that you're in the bonus. So lots to talk about if you're Bob Ritchie.
Last year, Wofford won 22 games. This year, so far, 14. There's Bob Ritchie. Bob Ritchie, 22 or more wins in 4 of the last 5 seasons. We talked about it in the first half. The only season he did not win 20 games, the COVID year 2 years ago. A lot of cancellations and postponements. His team still won 16.
Just an outstanding coach, a leader of men. His record speaks for himself as we almost see it over and back right there.
Loose ball tie-up, and the arrow stays with Furman.
I think there's a question of the possession arrow.
Yeah, Furman,
right? Was it not flipped?
Yeah, Furman got the last possession. They just never changed the arrow. So it goes back to Wofford, down 12, 2:03 to go.
And I'm sorry, I said that it was Furman ball as we were coming out of the timeout based on looking at the scorer's table. So a big turn of events right there for Wofford. Now they got to capitalize and put points on the board.
Pavletsky, nice spin move inside, banks it in.
Well, he's got such a knack and a feel for where the defense is and where they're going to get the shot off.
Wofford cuts it to 10. Tripp fouls Pegues. That's Tripp's first.
Pegues just a 65% free throw shooter. Now, I don't know that you would know that from watching him play today and how good he's been from behind the arc. 4 of 9 from 3.
Against Chattanooga on the road on Wednesday, he had 11 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He has 20 points in this game. Make it 21, a new career high for J.P. Pegues. 21 points in today's game.
And that free throw didn't look at all like a 65% free throw shooter. A couple of dribbles, good rhythm, and a follow through. That one just reeked in after a victory lap.
22 points for Pegues. He had 4 threes in the first half. No threes here in the second half, but still 22 points. Mack in the lane, drops it in. 21 points for B.J. Mack. Timeout taken by Wofford.
Well, now it's time for Dwight Perry to talk through strategy. I would assume that he's going to put full court pressure on Furman. Going to talk about who you're going to put at the line if you don't come up with a steal. He'll afford to let him burn 30 seconds or thereabouts off the clock.
In a few weeks will be the SoCon tournament up the road in Asheville, North Carolina. And if your team wins the conference tournament, there's a good chance your coach might leave.
Well, it speaks to the volumes of the commitment that the presidents and the athletic directors have in this conference, not just for basketball, but across the board athletics. But specifically, you see right there's been some outstanding coaches that have gone on. Mike Young and Steve Forbes to the ACC, Wes Miller to the AAC, and Lamont Paris last year on the heels of that win against Furman that we saw. All great coaches. Left the programs in good situations, but again, that's part of the reason I think there's some balance this year as well, is when there are changes, sometimes transfers and player departures can occur, and so it takes some time to get things settled the right way.
Full court pressure put on by Wofford. And Furman going to break it easily. 90 seconds to go. They foul Bothwell. Furman by 10 with 1:30 left.
It's not a guy you want to foul, but I don't know that the Terriers had much of really an option. I said it earlier, Mike Bothwell is going to find his way to a 20-point game. Makes a couple of free throws here and he hits it. He does so in just so many different ways. He'll do it by making threes. He'll do it by driving to the rim and finishing with contact. Today he does it by way of the free throw line. His leadership, his ability to distribute the ball. That's why he's one of the SoCon's best.
Makes them both. He has 20. This is a very good Paladin free throw shooting team, shooting 75% as a team coming into today. And making free throws this afternoon as well. Pavletsky scores again. And Pavletsky has a new career high, 25 points. Timeout, Wofford. With 1:22 to go.
And you see Bob Ritchie's son right there in the middle in the gray t-shirt. He travels when school really doesn't get in the way. He'll be on the bus, and well, he's been a part of this Paladin program since he was in a stroller. My guess is he's got a couple of buddies on each side of him that made the 45-minute trip from Greenville.
So Furman by 10. And one thing Bob Ritchie talked about before the game as far as keys today versus Wofford, he said play with pace on offense, bring good energy, and defend well.
Check, check, and check, right? I mean, playing with pace, and their pace is a faster pace. 92 points. They've also done the little things, right? They've taken some charges. They've won their fair share of 50-50 balls. All these things matter, especially on the road.
And how about the play today of J.P. Pegues for Furman?
Well, you can't say enough about the sophomore point guard. I mean, you know, Bob Ritchie said it, you repeated it, arguably the most improved player in the Southern Conference. There are others in that conversation, but boy, this has become his team in the sense of he's the point guard. Like Bothwell and Slauson are the leaders. They're vocal, but Pegues knows how to run a team right now. 20-plus points, 4 assists, just 1 turnover in 30 minutes of play. Most points, by the way, by the Paladins here in Spartansburg since 1970, when they put 109 on the Terriers in Benjamin Johnson Arena.
Pegues to inbound, full court pressure put on by Wofford. Pegues finds Vanderwall. Into Pegues' hands, he's fouled. J.P. Pegues, 6'1" sophomore from Nashville last year, played in 29 games, averaged 3 points, 1 rebound. This year averaging 9 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists per game.
Well, he recognized he was playing behind Alex Hunter. Right, 156 career games.
Those are tough shoes to fill.
No question. 122 starts, won a ton of games. This is a true program that really was started by Nico Medved when Bob Ritchie was an assistant. Nico then went to Drake for a year. He's now doing great things at Colorado State. But Bob Ritchie, it's a program, and what I mean by that, look, Stephen Kroon, Matt Rafferty, Jordan Lyons, Clay Mounts playing professionally. Noah Gurley transferred and is playing and starting for Alabama. You know, and Alex Hunter, Conley Garrison, I could go on and on. I mean, really good players that just, they graduate, but this Furman team just remains at the top of the Southern Conference in men's basketball.
Corey Tripp misfires from 3. Rebound Alex Williams. Into Pegues' hands. He's fouled by Sibbles. And Pegues will go to the line again.
The Furman bench and faithful kind of sense it right now. Pegues will walk back to the line where, boy, he's been solid there, just like behind the arc.
And you got to think last year in practice every day, going up against Alex Hunter, that had to have made him a better player.
No question about it. And it speaks to the character of Pegues and this program, where there was never any doubt that he was going, along with Joe Anderson and Carter Witt, who transferred it, right, that he was still going to be an integral part of this team. There was no, well, I think I might transfer because I'm not playing as a freshman, that you see so prevalent in today's game.
26 points for J.P. Pegues. We have 1 minute to go. Mack throws up a three. That rims out. Rebound Bothwell. Furman in complete command, up 14, under a minute to go.
It's a big win for Furman. Keeps them within striking distance of the Samford Bulldogs and UNCG Spartans.
Bothwell goes up for the slam, misses it. Rebound Wofford. Here comes Tripp up the floor. Can't convert. Sibbles put back, no. Rebound Foster with 30 seconds to go.
It's going to be an interesting race to the finish line in the Southern Conference.
Shot clock and game clock virtually identical. Pegues just going to dribble out the clock. Shot clock will go off. 1.5 remaining.
Got to applaud Dwight Perry, Ty Anderson, Will Murphy, and the staff at Wofford. Just didn't have enough today against a really talented Furman team.
And that is it. Final score.